The Wii U is a platform that never really had an opportunity to prove itself. Every weird Nintendo console that preceded it was able to eventually prove the worth of its weirdness. The Wii motion controls and the DS's dual screens were both proven, eventually, to be valuable in games and not just a stupid gimmick. But the Wii U's second screen never really had a game that proved it was worth foregoing a traditional controller, or even the controller that the Wii had, though a few games did come close. The most well-known of those games is Zombie U, but today I want to talk about one that's a bit more obscure, Affordable Space Adventures. It's an indie game exclusive to the Wii U, something that is an extreme rarity, but once you get into it, it's pretty clear why it's an exclusive. The very core of this game relies on that second screen, and the game is better because of it. When you first start Affordable Space Adventures, you're given a quick introduction. You've decided to go on an adventure to another planet in a tiny little spacecraft, something the company in charge assures you is absolutely safe. Of course, once you get there, everything goes terribly wrong. Everything is wrecked and on fire, and there are ancient alien artifacts constantly trying to murder you. Just looking at the TV view of the game, it's reminiscent of a lot of old-school side-scrolling platformers. Obviously, the actual platform jumping part isn't there, but as you float through these tunnels, solve the puzzles, and try to avoid these enemies, it really feels like one. But your spaceship, which would usually have no problems protecting you from the collection of hazards on this planet, has been heavily damaged, and this is where the gamepad comes in. As you play, you'll have to very carefully manage your power resources, turning systems on and off, adjusting their power levels as you fly. This is important overall to ensure your ship doesn't overheat and explode, but it becomes far more important once you really start to tangle with the aforementioned alien artifacts. These artifacts will kill you at the drop of a hat, and while sometimes you can get by them skirting just outside of their sensor range, most of the time you need to manage your resources to get by them. Each of the artifacts has different sensitivities. Some are going to be more likely to detect you if you're running hot, others if you're running a lot of electrical equipment. So you spend a lot of time fiddling with your settings down on the gamepad, and it works remarkably well. It conveys the feeling of having to make changes on the fly on some sort of control panel. Even though it's obviously nowhere near a sim, it does a pretty good job of making you feel like you're actually controlling a real machine with tons of different intricate parts. Of course, as I'm recording this review, we're very much in the twilight days of the Wii U. The system is basically dead and buried. Breath of the Wild will be more or less the final game ever released for it. And from what I can tell, it barely does anything at all with the gamepad. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that the gamepad was a great idea. It was a terrible idea, born from a desire to have something quirky and innovative in their new console, and an idea that tablets were popular. And to be sure, this is a problem the Switch could certainly end up having as well, a gimmicky nature that never really catches on. But sometimes developers can take hardware that wasn't really the best idea to start with and still do something very cool with it. Very few developers did that in the case of the Wii U, but Affordable Space Adventures is absolutely one of them. Every Friday, I look at a game that was either ignored when it came out or has been forgotten since. Games that people have missed. If you like that idea, be sure to subscribe so you can see the latest videos. If you like this video in particular, be sure to hit that like button, and thanks for watching.